एक्सप्लेन किया। अब हम मैम की GS2 की स्ट्रेटेजी पे चलते हैं कि उसे उन्होंने कैसे टैकल किया मैम।
GS2 is most important is science and technology.
हम्म।
You will have so much of innovation in it. Start with science and technology,
ओके।
because in that there will be a multiple options to write. Like
हम्म।
we have flood, we have an issue with flood.
या
This year
दिस
66
ईयर
there
या।
was a question related.
हम्म।
So start with flood. You have so many of photos and diagram for flood. You don't
हम्म।
need to do anything.
या।
You can make a dam of it, you can make a floodplain of it, you can make an India map for this, you can
हम्म।
make Bihar map of it. Make as much of data and floods related techniques are there. You can make
हम्म।
embankment in your copy, you can make embankment. What is
या।
the benefit of it? This is your starter. If you're in a hotel, if your starter is nice, you will continue. अच्छा और खाते हैं. If your starter is not करने, नहीं अब नहीं खाना, हो गया ठीक है
हाँ।
ठीक है. So make a nice starter. And science and technology is a starter
हम्म।
for any aspirant. I'm telling, not forget. Science
या।
and technology is a starter. Start with a very nice diagram.
हम्म।
Even the invigilator is not in a mode of checking. After checking 50 to 60 papers, they
हम्म।
are getting so much tired. So उस समय they don't want to read all your stories कि flood बहुत ज्यादा है, ये है, flood में ये
हाँ।
होता है, ये दिक्कत. They are not at all interested. They
हम्म।
don't even. I also don't want to read all these things.
या।
But if your copy have a diagram of a embankment of India's map of how your flood prone area to flood
ड्रॉट
like
या।
for a flood prone area to drought areas, you have
हम्म।
a map of it explaining how it's going,
हम्म।
and you have a map for interlinking of rivers.
हम्म।
This will give a very nice perception. Yes, he has worked something for flood. There
हम्म।
are many options. Even now also I can speak 10 options. You also have, everybody have 10 options.
हम्म।
But the same is you have to reproduce it in your copy.
यस।
That's more important. And with
हम्म।
diagram. So
हम्म।
GS2 is all about diagram and data.
हम्म।
So starting with your starter, you have completed your science and
या।
technology with
यस।
very nice diagrams of
हम्म।
all the techniques. Some, and make sure to include some scientific technique.
हम्म।
Like once it was asked for agriculture, I guess some questions were from agriculture, and once was from pollution,
हम्म।
how to control pollution. So there are many ways to continue to control this pollution.
हम्म।
And in fact some renewable energy sources, you have
हम्म।
panels, solar panels, you can make a solar pump house.
हम्म।
Small, don't make a page of it. You can make a
हम्म।
small solar pump house. So science and technology questions require some technicalities from you.
हम्म।
They don't just want the arts questions answers like India has renewable energy, this that. You don't need to write
हम्म।
all the science arts point of view. Make it
हम्म।
a bit technical, like
या।
weed farming or vermicomposting. Make
हम्म।
it some scientific answers you will write, then
हम्म।
this will fetch a very nice mark. Scientific
हम्म।
answers. Bioremediation.
हम्म।
Make a notes of 5 to 10 questions
हम्म।
of science and technology, like renewable energy, pollution, and flood is a favorite question of BPSC, drought and
हम्म।
flood, and all these questions. Make some 5 to 10 in this. Make some 5 to 10 scientific points like
हम्म।
bioremediation. If you
या।
write bioremediation, it makes a very nice impression, like vermicomposting, bioremediation. These all things will Jatropha curcus. These all
हम्म।
it is a plant. These all
या।
plant name which is very scientific. It
हम्म।
will make a very different impression for invigilator.
हम्म।
So in science, to get more marks, you just add all these things. For this, you can make this vision material is there,
ओके।
science and technology vision
हाँ।
material, and also you can get forum IS. They makes a compendium of all the handwritten notes of all the
हम्म।
science and technology question. You can
ओके।
refer that as well.
ओके।
Apart from this, science and technology, you can just Google all the important things. You will get plenty of nanotechnology. You
हम्म।
will get plenty of answers in that.
हम्म।
So when you are writing an answer in science and technology, like the role of science and technology in education, okay,
हम्म।
if this question, education, you can write transport, anything of any sphere of life, you just add everything what you have studied before:
हम्म।
nanotechnology, biotechnology, AI,
हम्म।
blockchain technology, all the technology which you have, just add on it. It will
हम्म।
have a very diverse answer. लाइक आपने सिर्फ ये नहीं लिखा है कि एजुकेशन में कैसे होता है, उसके अलावा भी एआई पे भी आपने लिख दिया है, आपने
हाँ।
आपने रोबोटिक्स का भी यूज किया है, आपने नैनो
हम्म।
टेक्नोलॉजी को भी यूज किया है, आपने बायोटेक्नोलॉजी को यूज किया है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस हुआ है, ब्लॉकचेन को मैंने कैसे एजुकेशन में यूज किया है.
हम्म।
तो दिस विल हैव अ वेरी डाइवर्स आंसर, रिच, आंसर विल बी वेरी
आई
रिच इन दैट
अंडरस्टैंड।
सेंस.
हम्म। Yeah.
So just have a habit of interlinking and adding what you have studied.
Hmm.
If you are 50%, make sure to add this 50% in your answers in
Hmm.
any way. Like
Hmm.
मेरे मन में जो पोयम है मैं आपको बताऊंगी, चाहे आप मुझे ये सवाल पूछो ना पूछो,
Hmm.
तो ये मेक श्योर करो कि आप इसको आप किसी तरह से भी डाल दो अपने आंसर
हाँ.
में. This is with science and technology. Now
हाँ.
coming to economics.
हाँ.
Economics. So BPSC is centered with economics only around Bihar, mostly around Bihar.
बिहार.
So make sure to have all the data, especially from economic survey, Bihar
Hmm.
economic survey,
Hmm.
which is a Bible for BPSC mains in economics.
Hmm.
BPSC economic survey, Bihar economic survey is a Bible for BPSC economics in GS2.
Okay.
So have a data. I'm telling data specific
Hmm.
7.5, 10.8. Have a data of GSDP of Bihar.
Hmm.
Education में क्या है बिहार का, and you should also have a data of all the states in Bihar, all the states having which are very good in education and which are
Hmm.
literate. You can
Hmm.
even jot down into your copy with a map of Bihar, schematic diagram of Bihar,
Hmm.
writing it,
Hmm.
and in the areas which are very good in education and areas which are very poor. This
Yeah.
time they asked about demographic dividend, I guess.
हाँ, demographic dividend, yes.
हाँ हाँ, तो yes, बिहार का democratic dividend is very nice and it is
Hmm.
very different from as compared to South Indian states.
हाँ,
So
yes.
you can write it is given in economy, even this has been described in economic survey as well of Bihar.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you can give that data as well as the diagram of India's map, having
Hmm.
greener states, greener in the sense greener in demographic dividend, and
Hmm.
some states which are now maturing in demographic dividend, which is
Yeah.
some South Indian states,
South
and
Indian.
now Bihar is a bit younger in these
Hmm.
areas.
Yeah.
So you will make a map, so they will have an idea. Even I have also quoted the data of the same. I'm not remembering right now,
Hmm.
but during those days, I used to remember what you do before 1 week of exam. Have the data in your hand, taking
Hmm.
notes or whatever, and just read it 4 to 5 times before exam. You will able to
Okay.
recall every data correctly in exam.
Hmm.
This will add extra marks. I have played with data in GS2. I remember.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have played with data.
Hmm.
I was last after completing the exam, I was thinking कि कुछ ज्यादा डेटा तो नहीं डाल दिया, कुछ ज्यादा डायग्राम तो नहीं डाला. I was thinking
Okay.
that as well. कि
Hmm.
मतलब it was like playing with data. I even
हाँ.
played. I realized कि कुछ गलती तो नहीं हो गया. ऐसा feeling
हाँ.
आया exam
हाँ.
के बाद. Like with the
Yes.
diagrams, and my paper
Hmm.
was so colory. You'll just like a small children. My paper was so colory. मतलब it was
हाँ.
full of diagrams, datas, and
Hmm.
maps and bar diagrams and some dot diagrams, everything. It was full of data. Like every page has 2 to 3 some
Hmm.
important. You have to recall that. That's up
Hmm.
to you how you recall. You just make a practice of it. For any matter relating to GSDP of Bihar or per capita income, in crop intensity, all this data should be in your hands. It should be in your
Hmm.
hand before mains. Prelims,
Okay.
it's okay, but at the same time in mains as well, you have to keep all this data in your hand. So in
Hmm.
economics, economic survey is a Bible. Apart from,
Okay.
you can take help from Vision IS material, which is same for me,
Okay.
and Drishti material, and some
Hmm.
questions are which is favorite for BPSC. You will make a previous year question. You can see
Hmm.
some questions are favorite, like population,
Yes.
sustainable development,
Hmm.
agriculture. These questions are favorite. Like they'll
Hmm.
ask 5 year plan, agriculture productivity trends. Make a
Yes.
note beforehand. Make a note of all these questions which are being
Hmm.
asked every year.
Hmm.
Planning in Bihar, sustainable development in Bihar,
Hmm.
comparing it with India. You
Hmm.
cannot write anything in perspective of Bihar. Make a small idea of India as well. For
Hmm.
that, make a outlook of economic survey of India. Just an
Hmm.
outlook. Don't go deep in it. But for economic survey of Bihar, you have to learn by heart all these schemes.
Hmm.
There are many schemes related to everything. Even for finance, if something is questions are being asked from finance, make sure to add some data for banks. Like
Hmm.
what is the CD ratio of Bihar? Which area is poor in CD ratio is cash deposit ratio?
Hmm.
Which area is poor in CD ratio? Make sure to add all this data in it. It will
Hmm.
give a very rich answer for
Yes.
economics, because economics is all analysis and
Hmm.
data.
Data.
Economics is all about that.
Yeah.
The third is
Polity.
what? Geography,
Polity.
polity. Yeah, for polity. Yeah, polity for that, it's same for everybody. Lakshmikant,
Hmm.
it's a Bible for
Hmm.
polity, for prelims as well as for mains.
Hmm.
Apart from this, BPSC is now changing its trends with the polity.
Hmm.
Previously, they were asking the previous year's questions from polity,
Hmm.
but from 63rd or 64th, they have
Ye-
changed their trend. They are asking
Yeah.
some different things as well. So
Hmm.
for that, I am telling, don't just rely on previous year's question.
Hmm.
Don't rely in polity. I'm just
Hmm.
saying for polity, don't rely on previous year's question. You can go for UPSC previous year's questions on
Hmm.
polity, specifically on polity. You will have central state relation, you
Hmm.
will have Niti Aayog versus Planning
Hmm.
Commission, you will have National Human Rights Commission. Make sure
Yeah.
to study, make sure to have an extensive study.
Hmm.
In GS2, what you have to do is make extra effort for polity, because the
Hmm.
questions are not previously asked.
Hmm.
So you have to make you can make 40 to 50 questions same with
Hmm.
polity which are being asked in UPSC,
Hmm.
and you frame an answers for them. Federal, state,
Yes.
India, this time we have asked federal, state, and
हाँ.
some one question will be there from previous year. This year it was president,
हाँ.
previous. The last is polity. So
Okay.
for polity, you have 40 to 50 questions which are being asked in UPSC. Don't go just by BPSC questions. You
Okay.
can get the questions from UPSC previous years which are being
Hmm.
asked, and make a note on Niti Aayog, Planning Commission, federal, state, Lok Sabha, relevance of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, which is very trending nowadays. These
Hmm.
all questions are maybe PIL, PIL is there, and then some more questions you can get from there which are being asked previously, and make a note of it. In
Hmm.
polity, make sure to add some judgments,
Hmm.
articles. These all are brownie things which you can add in your cake. Like if in cake we add gems and all, so these
Hmm.
are your gems. The some judgment you can quote. Make a note of 20 to 30 judgments which are
Hmm.
being done, which are being given previously, related to preamble,
Hmm.
constitution, fundamental right, directive principle, whatever.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and make 20 to 30 judgments note in your copy, and
Hmm.
just go through it and make sure to add this judgment in whatever answer you are having.
Hmm.
Like while framing your answer in
Yeah.
polity, you have to frame your answer during your exam. You cannot make it a note previously and go and just write it out.
Hmm. Hmm.
You have to frame your answers in exam. For
Hmm.
this, keep in handy 20 to 30 judgments with you, so that you can add on anywhere, anytime.
Hmm.
Apart from this, quoting articles, not like just
Hmm.
article 360 says this, no. According to article 366, 360 of Constitution of India, make sure to give due respect to all the articles. What is article 360 of what?
Hmm.
There can be article 360, 360 of bank as well. No, you
Yeah.
have to make article 360 of Constitution of India. Like you
Yes.
remember 360 ये है,
Hmm.
you know what, 360 of what? You have to make a complete answer. Now
Hmm.
you're going to be a bureaucrat. You cannot write or say randomly anything. You
Hmm.
have to make some solid answers, because your answers or your your quotations will be quoted and will be recorded.
Hmm.
So you cannot just
Yeah.
haphazardly say article 360 says this. No,
Hmm.
this will not work. Article 360 of Constitution says this, and start with a inverted commas, and you have to make sure to remember. It's not
Hmm.
possible to remember everything, but remember some important articles. Like for
Hmm.
fundamental rights, you have to be
Yeah.
by heart with all the articles.
Hmm.
It shall be and should be. There has to be a demarcation between that as well
Hmm.
in fundamental rights. And
Yeah.
BPSC asks every alternate years they ask one question from fundamental rights.
Hmm.
So this type 67, there is high chances of asking one question from fundamental rights.
Yeah.
Maybe from article 21 or article 22. Like they
Yeah.
ask something from article 21, don't just write what you have learned from article 21.
Hmm.
See what the question is demanding in polity. Polity questions demand something. It wants to ask something from you. Make sure to
Hmm.
address that specific points or questions which are being asked. Just
Hmm.
underline what critically analyze the role of governor. So you have
Hmm.
to analyze. You don't have to write about governor and all. You have to analyze what is the present situation, what was previously something happened, what Supreme Court judgments has been made. Some instances you can make in bold heading,
Yeah.
some instances of things which have happened in other state as well,
Hmm.
like in Karnataka, Maharashtra, in the quoting the year also. This will make a very nice answers, with very
Hmm.
healthy and diverse answers. It will give weightage to your answers.
Yeah.
So add as much as data, as much as quotations, as
Hmm.
much as years, like Dowry Act, according to Dowry. No, you have to write the the exact date of dowry
Hmm.
act. Maternity Benefit Act says this.
Hmm.
What is Maternity Benefit Act? You have to write 1972 Maternity Benefit Act says this.
Yeah.
You have to be specific. You have to be more specific in polity. Like
Hmm.
we are quoting Keshav Nanda and Bharti. This is
Hmm.
a very simple judgment.
Hmm.
But apart from that, I'm not recalling that only. So Keshav Nanda 1973, you have to write, and just
Hmm.
not versus Government of India or versus State of Kerala. You have
Yeah.
to write that as well. It's not
Hmm.
like Keshav Nanda Bharti, everybody has written. No, you
Hmm.
have versus Kerala government of Vishakha Dutt case
Hmm.
versus the state of government of Rajasthan. You have to write
Rajasthan.
this. All things will give you some extra weightage to your
Hmm.
answers. You
Hmm.
know, everybody knows Article 21, right to
Yeah.
protection of female in sexual harassment in workplace. Everybody knows, everybody will write. But what is that case? It is about Vishakha Dutt case. Okay,
Hmm.
everybody will write Vishakha Dutt
Hmm.
versus which, and make sure the effort which we have given, like
Hmm.
in remembering Government of India, Government of Rajasthan, it's very difficult to remember, I know. So the effort which you have given in remembering this, make sure to highlight.
Hmm.
आज मैंने अगर अपने मेकअप में लिपस्टिक लगाया, मेक श्योर दिस लिपस्टिक इज विजिबल टू ऑल.
Hmm.
द सेम इज द थिंग विथ योर आंसर्स. मेक श्योर कि आपने जो अपना एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट किया है वो इन्विजिलेटर को भी विजिबल हो. सो
Hmm.
अंडरलाइन दैट सेंटेंस. इट विल
Hmm.
हैव अ कुछ भी अंडरलाइन होता है, विल हैव अ डायरेक्ट ग्लैंस ऑन दैट. सो अंडरलाइन दिस केस. It will have a keep. अच्छा, if you're not in a mood to read, just they will scroll, flip the page and the underline will be there, and they
There.
will have a perspective कि
Hmm.
yeah, he knows verses as well. So
Hmm.
इस बच्चे ने काफी मेहनत की है कोई भी आंसर्स में या प्रिपरेशन में.
Hmm.
So आपने जो मेहनत की है, make your मेहनत और your hard work to be reflected in your answer as well.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
ये रहा पॉलिटी का. So
Ma'am.
पॉलिटी
And
के लिए the first is
हाँ.
Lakshmikant.
Hmm.
Second is Vision IAS. Some topics you can get from Vision IAS also, like corruption in Bihar, political corruption, election funding. These all
Hmm.
things are some caste census in Bihar, role of caste in Bihar politics. For
Hmm.
this, you can get data from Association of District Representation. ADR data is there. You can get data from that. There is some areas in Bihar which are very much inclined towards MY votes. Some areas in Bihar which are very much inclined towards RJD votes and
Hmm.
JDU votes. So make a map in polity as well. You can have your answer should be so innovative that you can make a map in polity as well of all the areas which are inclined to a particular political party and in which are giving vote. It is not by
Hmm.
your views, it's by the data which has been collected by some associations or NGOs.
Hmm.
So make all these things in your answer. It will give a very nice impression.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. And ma'am, geography was remaining.
geography, don't give much effort in geography from my
Hmm.
point of view, because
Hmm.
I was having time constraint with me. I have not given much effort in geography because I've looked upon all the previous year's questions, like
Hmm.
monsoon was there, rule of monsoon in Bihar,
Hmm.
economy, and some questions you can relate this drought and flood with geography as well.
Hmm.
And apart from that, often this question comes, I guess, industries,
How industry.
industries questions of location of industry. This you can add in geography or in economics.
Economics.
So but prepare all the previous questions which are asked in geography. No,
Hmm.
not much. Cyclone,
Hmm.
some important,
Yeah.
which you can even if you don't have any time, you have paucity of time, you cannot study also that.
Hmm.
Because geography you can have the option to choose amongst economics and geography. So
Geography.
there are not much, and people with geography option, they don't have any issues with geography.
Hmm.
So if you are not on geography optional, just have a data, have a knowledge of all the previous questions which are being asked in geography, make small
Hmm.
notes on it, and just that's more than sufficient in geography.
Hmm. Yeah, okay. So let's conclude this. So GS2 ma'am told, as she mentioned, that this is the game of data and pictures and innovative ideas and map that
Yeah.
you can play with. So this is the crux that she told us. And ma'am, आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस के आपने कुछ मॉक टेस्ट वगैरह ज्वाइन किया था मेंस के लिए या?
This is very important. You have addressed a very nice thing. Answer writing is very important. Like if you are studying a page,
हम्म.
अगर आज मैंने आपको बोला कि आप ये पेज पढ़ो, and I will tell you to write something what you have studied. From 100 lines, you will able to write just 40 lines. This is a human brain. It's not with me or with you, even the topper, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm also having the same problem. This problem goes with everybody. If you study a book, you are able to write, not telling, you are able to write only 40 to 60%. So make sure habit of writing. Make sure habit of writing. Start with prelims, before prelims. In fact, I was having some issues with time, so I could not write answer practice. But after mains, it's mandatory for you to write as much as you can. Write इतना लिखो कि you can write कि अरे मेरा इतना तक कॉपी भर गया है. कॉपी भर दो, बस ये करो, भरते जाओ कॉपी. इफ यू आर नॉट लाइक मेनी पीपल से दैट अभी तो पढ़े नहीं है, हम कैसे लिखेंगे. आप 2 चैप्टर तो पढ़े हो, उसको तो लिखो. हम पूरा चैप्टर खत्म, पूरा बुक खत्म करेंगे तो हम लिखेंगे. हम ये पूरा सिलेबस खत्म करेंगे, हम पूरा पूरा पॉलिटी कंप्लीट करेंगे तो हम लिखना स्टार्ट करेंगे. Many people have this tendency. ये अभी कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ, how I'll write? No, please don't make a blunder. If you have studied 2 chapters, fundamental rights and fundamental duties, start writing that only. You will have a habit of writing. In exam, it will be like test match आपने खेला है, अब आप अच्छे से खेल सकते हो. You will have a practice. You will have a practice. Your hands will not strain. There is so much of writing. Writing 34, 36 pages is not a joke in a limited time frame. For this, you will have, if you don't have a habit of writing, you will not, your hands will start paining during exam. The first time 64th, I had not practiced even a single, not even a one line I have practiced for writing. I thought that पढ़ तो लिया है, मुझे तो सब याद है, जाके लिख देंगे. I was so confident for that कि सब तो पढ़ लिया, अब तो बस लिखना है. Everything I have studied. And when you write in an exam, I left 2 questions in GS2 and all the 72 marks in GS1. So 144 marks was like blank because my paper was over. I was not having knowledge कि you have to write in this 36 pages only. When I started writing, I write it and finally 36 page was over and I was having 2 questions left in my hand. And I have to leave those 2 questions. So in 36 pages, you have to complete your 8 questions. Make sure some people have small handwriting, some people have big handwriting. So don't make so much big answers like so much big handwriting कि चलो पेज खत्म करने के लिए मैंने 36 पेज लिख दिया. No, if you write it 34 pages also, but your content is nice, that matters. Don't go by completing the pages. There should be some content in your answer. Some content is necessary. If you write 2 pages answers, that's okay, but it should address your question. What is being asked in question. And also BPSC is now starting with a trend, ma'am, like they are asking 4 to 5 sub questions in a single question.
Exactly.
Nowadays 4 to 5 questions in single question they are asking. So you just take some time, just divide your questions into sub parts. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 questions are there in one question, sub question. So you just while reading the question, you underline the question and write 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. Now when you start writing, you will forget the third question and you will end it out. So while writing, you will have अच्छा 1 लिख दिया, 2 पे आया, 3 पे and 4 पे आया. So address all the parts of question because BPSC have a scheme for giving marks. For 4 questions, if the question is of 32 marks or 38 marks, they will divide it into the way 8 marks or 10 marks. Accordingly, they will divide. And if you don't address a single sub question, you will lose 8 to 10 marks in a single question. So they have a marking pattern. If you address that question, you'll get 8 to 10 marks. If you don't address, सीधा आपने बहुत अच्छा आंसर लिखा है, आपने 10 में से, आपने 4 में से 3 का आंसर लिखा, चौथा आपने भूल गया, आपने बहुत तीनों का आंसर लिखा, आपने 10 marks direct lose कर दिया. So now you will be being judged in 28 marks. Out of 28, what you will get? 15 marks. Though your answers are very nice, still you are getting 15 marks. So now BPSC is on this way. I'm seeing your questions in 66 also. We have one questions in economics. 3-4 questions where there with Sat Nishchay. One question was there of Sat Nishchay. There were 2. So you have to include Sat Nishchay 1 as well in that. So they are having sub questions in a single question. If you don't address that, your a very bulk amount of effort is being wasted. This is a common trend people are doing. So make sure to underline the questions and write 1, 3, 4, or if there are 5 questions, write 5 there. इन दिस वे यू कैन एड्रेस ऑल दी सब पार्ट्स. बाय मिस्टेक अगर आपसे छूट भी जा रही है तो आप जैसे देखोगे अच्छा फिफ्थ तो मैंने लिखा ही नहीं, अच्छा मैं लिख देता हूँ, जिस कारण से आपका फिफ्थ भी चला जाएगा. तो ये एक बीपीएससी की आजकल की ट्रेंड आ रही है, स्पेशली इन इकोनॉमिक्स एंड ज्योग्राफी एंड पॉलिटी, दे आर डूइंग ऑल दिस थिंग्स. So address all the sub parts of question, and for that you make a sub point like what are the effects of what is El Nino, what are the effects of El Nino. So what is El Nino, so you can make a headline El Nino and you can write whatever. What are the effects, the second question, effects of El Nino. What are the issues, you will write what are the issue, what some recent example, quote some recent examples of El Nino happenings in world, then El Nino happenings in world, and you can write. So all the 4-5 sub points is being addressed by you. So this is the gist of all the questions, and answer writing is a must, is a must, is a must. You can complete your copy, like you should have a habit. I have joined Sahit Iqbal sir is there in you in I have joined his questions. His questions were very nice, ma'am. But it was a bit late. Still, his questions even turned up in exam as well. Some questions, 4 to 5 questions, turned up in exam. So I have already prepared that answers, and it was like second time I'm giving the same mock. So it was easy for me to recollect everything and write, which was being asked already by Syed in some way, not the same question, but the topic was being repeated. So you can join any test series as you wish. It's up to you, and I will not say this is bad, that is bad. Every coaching institute is good, every teachers are good, at least better than we all, at least better than we all, because so you cannot claim that this is bad. Some renowned you can join. I can say Astha's questions are good. Astha IAS, Sahid Iqbal's questions were good, were very nice.
They're
So
very
you
nice
can you don't. It's or in BPSC Telegram, any everyday questions are asked. Are being displayed. People. So make a note of all the questions from wherever you one test you gave and in evening one test you give. If you don't have time, like I'm working, so Saturday, Sunday I used to devote only for writing. And in weekdays, like Monday to Friday, I used to read, so that whatever I have read, Saturday, Sunday I will reproduce or I will try to remember. And one more thing is means you have to recollect so much of things. So it's very difficult for student to recollect things. So if you have studied a chapter or you have studied a topic, some like Myanmar issues, you have read from vision, you have made your footnotes, you have revisioned your footnotes, very nice. Now if you are sitting idly somewhere or you are traveling or doing something, you are doing anything, or you are in your bed going to sleep, try to recollect what you have studied in your mind map, try to recover what are the pros of Rohingya, okay, what happened, what are the way forward, what are the pros, what are the steps taken by India's, what are the steps taken by world, what they have done. So make a food remembering of all these things will help you to remember in exam easily, because there is very less time in exam to remember. So if you start thinking acha uska kya tha, and at that time you will not be able to recall, and after writing one question you will get that point, acha iska to ye bhi tha. And at that time you don't have the this possibility to go back and write this, because you are in a next question. So this recollecting, the habit of recalling should be impoverished. For that you have to make a habit of it. Every night you make a habit of recalling what you have studied. This will help you in examination. It will help you to remember quick. कुछ भी याद है तुरंत याद आ गया, अच्छा नहीं याद आया तो अब फिर बाद में भी नहीं याद आएगा, ये श्योर है. ऐसे क्या होता है एक दो क्वेश्चन के बाद, अच्छा उसका तो एक ये भी टॉपिक था, लिख देते क्या, फिर नहीं लिखे, एंड यू विल वेस्ट 1 minute इन थिंकिंग कि लिखे कि नहीं लिखे और क्या करे. So why to be trapped in all these things? You just make a habit of recalling what you have studied. Just anywhere sitting, you are doing anything, you just recall, acha uska wo tha, acha wo tha. This will help you recalling in exam. So BPSC is all about your mind, how speed your mind at that time during mains it works, and how speed your hand works. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very nice, मैम. आपने बहुत अच्छे से बताया GS1 और GS2 की स्ट्रेटेजी. और मैम को ऑप्शनल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी है, हम लोग इसके लिए एक अलग से सेशन कर लेंगे, तो वो फिर और डिटेल में उसके लिए भी टिप्स ट्रिक्स, बुक लिस्ट, स्ट्रेटेजी क्या फॉलो की है वो देंगे. और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मैम ने इतना समय हम लोग को दिया.
Thank
ओके,
you,
थैंक
ma'am.
यू मैम, थैंक यू मैम।
Last time I want to appreciate Ankita ma'am for doing all these things. Like मैं आपको बताई हूँ, मैंने पहले भी डिस्कस किया है, मैं काफी आउटस्कर्ट में पोस्टिंग थी, एंड
हम्म।
these all platform helped me, really it helped me, it's my personal experience, ये मुझे हेल्प
हम्म।
किया. I was not having any coaching. I
या।
was not because of financially, it was because of circumstantially.
हम्म।
You can have any issues, you can have financial or circumstances, if you are not having any coaching, it's not
या।
at all जरूरी, एकदम भी जरूरी नहीं है.
हम्म।
कोचिंग क्या करेगा? आपको आपको पढ़ाएगा. आप खुद एक जिला चलाएंगे, आप एक बहुत अच्छे पोजीशन पे रहेंगे, तो आपको कौन बताएगा कि क्या करना है? आपको खुद से करना है.
एग्जैक्टली।
तो
यस।
you think
हम्म।
like them, कि
हम्म।
अब आपको कौन बताएगा? हमको क्या ही कोई सिखा सकता है? आप ये सोचो, आप खुद से सीखो, खुद से करो. और
हम्म।
सेल्फ स्टडी काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है, एंड सेल्फ
हम्म।
स्टडी ही इंपॉर्टेंट है.
हम्म।
कोचिंग spoon feeding will not work neither in BPSC nor in UPSC.
या।
All is your analyzing power, your self study, and your hard work will work. There are
हम्म।
many of my friends, they have not even taken a single coaching, and they have cracked even UPSC as well.
हम्म।
So from my point of view, it's my personal advice, don't waste your money in coaching. In fact, save that money, do something fruitful or eat something nice, and be in your home, in your comfortable zone, where you
या।
can study, devote 8 to 10 hours a day.
हम्म।
But for prelims, I don't request you to do 8 to 10 hours. 6 hours is sufficient. But for
हम्म।
mains, you need to have exhaustive answer writing.
हम्म।
For that exhaustive answer writing, you have to devote 6 to 8 hours a day.
या।
So, and that also for 2 months, not for all the 6 months or 8 months. Just last 2 months, you
हम्म।
devote 6 hours for answer writing, and you will excel in answer writing in
हम्म।
exam in BPSC. From my experiences,
हम्म।
even I have done my bank, and in the evening I used to write for 3 hours, and that was sufficient for me.
हम्म। ओके, नाइस विद यू मैम। तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मैम। फिर हम लोग फिर इनसे मैम से मिलेंगे। और मैम हमारे पीसीएस प्रबोध टेलीग्राम ग्रुप पर भी हैं, तो अगर आपको कुछ क्वेरीज हैं, कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं, तो यू कैन जस्ट पोस्ट देयर एंड देन यू टेक गाइडेंस फ्रॉम हर। ओके, थैंक यू मैम।
Thank you.